So we're trucking right along down this road of extinct but not so forgotten and very important rums in the Tiki universe. We've already done the Loud's London Dock Jamaican rum, which was used in the 1934 Zombie, and we've already done the Appleton Punch, which came after the Wray & Nephew Dagger, which is one of the main mixing rums that the OGs used to use. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Kohala Bay Dark Rum, which the Mai Kai made famous for all of their recipes. We're going to be blending it up and then using it to make a Mai Kai Barrel O Rum. So let's do this. The Mai Kai stands as one of the last OG Tiki temples in, well, probably the world. It was built in 1956 under the ownership of Jack and Bob Thornton. And in fact, it was actually the most expensive restaurant built in that year. Now, sadly, it has been closed since COVID. But the good news is that it is under renovation from damage that it suffered from a hurricane, and it is slated to open next year. And if you want to find out more about the Mai Kai and its renovations, then I would definitely check out Jim Hayward's blog, The Atomic Grog, and follow him for any updates that you want about the Mai Kai. I will make sure to link his stuff in the description down below, and even probably throw a card right up here. Jim spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Well, actually, probably not blood, sweat, and tears, but definitely a lot of time working on trying to recreate a blend that he feels mimics the exact flavor profile of the extinct Kohala Bay Dark Rum. So why is the Kohala Bay that was discontinued in 2016 so famous? Well, it was actually an anomaly for its time. It was an affordable and readily available dark Jamaican rum that was pungent, funky, and came in at a slightly higher proof of 87.6. So this made it ideal for mixing into cocktails, unlike its other counterpoints that were pretty much like 40% ABV and honestly not that funky. They just didn't stand up to the tropical cocktails that they were in. The Kohala Bay was the dark Jamaican rum of choice for the Mai Kai in its cocktails. Now you have to remember that these recipes were originally created by Mario Licudine, who was a former Don the Beachcomber bartender. He came over to the Mai Kai and took a lot of the Don the Beachcomber cocktails and reformatted them for the Mai Kai. His dark Jamaican rum of choice at the time was the Wray & Nephew Dagger. Well, that became extinct. We moved on to the Appleton Punch. That became extinct, and we moved on to Kohala Bay. So why is Kohala Bay so famous nowadays? Well, it's because in today, the ones of us that have experienced the Mai Kai when we were younger, maybe not so young depending upon your age, know the cocktails when they had Kohala Bay in them, and it was a distinct flavor that was unlike anything else. So what is this infamous blend that gets us close to Kohala Bay? Well, according to Jim Hayward, it is 4 parts of Caruba, 1 part of Wray & Nephew Overproof, and 1 part of Appleton Signature. Blending these 3 rums together gets us very close to replicating Kohala Bay. Kohala Bay was produced by Wray & Nephew, or Appleton, however you want to look at it. They're owned by the same company. It came in at 87.6 proof and was a blend of pot and column still rums. These 3 combined hit almost exactly the same notes. So let's blend some up and try it. Now, as a reminder, Kohala Bay was never meant to be a sipping rum. It was meant to be a cheap, affordable, readily available mixing rum. But regardless, we're going to try it neat to check out its flavor profile. To make our Kohala Bay clone, we're going to add 1 part, which is ½ ounce or 15 milliliters of Appleton Signature. 1 part of Wray & Nephew Overproof, which is ½ ounce or 15 milliliters. And 4 parts of Caruba, which is 2 ounces or 60 milliliters. And then we have our Kohala Bay clone. Let's give it a try. So it's definitely very dark. Now, if you watched last week's video on the Appleton Punch had this wonderful red, almost mahogany hue to it. This is definitely on the darker side. It is mostly Caruba, so that is to be expected. On the nose, we're getting those typical ripe banana, papaya, mango, banana flavors that we get from Hogo, the Jamaican Funk. Overall, it's actually pretty subdued compared to some of the other blends that we've been going over in the last few weeks. Let's give it a sip. Yeah, I mean, as we talked about, this is not made to be a sipping rum. However, it is pretty well balanced. It's definitely smooth. There's a bit of an ethanol burn. It does come in at a lower proof than the other blends that we've been talking about. So it's not overpowering in any way, shape, or form. But I can see how in the right cocktail, this might definitely punch through and add a signature flavor. So this begs the question, what cocktail to use this in? Now we do have a lot of recipes from the Mai Kai, and this is all thanks to Jim Hayward. However, we do have a select few that are actual official recipes from the Mai Kai. We also know that there is a difference between the Mai Kai recipes that use Kohala Bay and what they're using now since Kohala Bay has been discontinued. And there are a few recipes, a few cocktails that really stand out that when they used Kohala Bay were much, much better than when they didn't. And one of those happens to be the Barrel O Rum. To make the Mai Kai's Barrel O Rum, you're going to need Kohala Bay Dark Rum, a lightly aged rum, rich passionfruit syrup, honey syrup, orange juice, white grapefruit juice, lime juice, aromatic bitters, and soda water. So let's grab a shaking tin and get mixing. In your shaking tin, add 6 dashes of aromatic bitters, 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of lime juice, 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of white grapefruit juice, 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of orange juice, 1 teaspoon of honey syrup, 2 ounces of a rich passionfruit syrup, 2 ounces of a lightly aged rum, and 2 ounces of our Kohala Bay Dark Rum. And a splash of soda water. Add about a cup of pebble ice to your shaking tin. And flash blend for about 5 seconds. Grab a large snifter glass. And open pour in. According to the Mai Kai, there's no need for a garnish, and serve with a straw. And there we have it, the Mai Kai's Barrel O Rum with the Kohala Bay clone, or the closest thing we can get to creating the original. Let's give it a try. So, first of all, this thing has 4 ounces of rum in it, and it doesn't taste like it. It honestly just tastes like fruit juices. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. This is not my cup of tea. This cocktail is a little too sweet for my liking. The passion fruit is a little too forward. I'm losing the white grapefruit juice. It's adding almost no bitterness to this cocktail, and the bitters are doing almost nothing to temper the sweetness of this cocktail. Hey everyone, so as you can tell, I am in a different outfit, and that's because when I was editing this video, I realized that the last 2 minutes of my audio went completely haywire, and it was unusable. So I'm reshooting this. I didn't make the cocktail again because, as you saw in my initial tasting notes, it just wasn't for me. And I didn't really feel like wasting all these ingredients to make another cocktail that I wasn't going to drink or even enjoy the couple sips that I was going to take. Now, sure, I'm sure that somebody loves the Barrel O Rum, and it's definitely a crowd pleaser. It's large format, so you feel like you're getting your bang for your buck, and it goes down stupid easy for having 4 ounces of rum in it. But for me, it's just a little unbalanced and it's overly sweet. So while I'm sure somebody loves it, it's just not for me. But again, your mileage may vary. And that's one of the great things about cocktails, is just because I don't like something doesn't mean you won't. So I highly recommend you go out and make it for yourself and give it your own try. And if you do like it, I would love to hear all about it. Now also remember that the Kohala Bay clone can be used in other cocktails as well, essentially anything calling for a dark Jamaican rum. So feel free to put it into any of those cocktails as well and get some usage out of it. Anyway, that's it for today's video. For those of you that have been watching this series, you know that next week I have something very special coming up. And I don't want to give anything away because I do want to keep it a surprise, but I will tell you that I feel like a lot of people in the Tiki community have been begging for a video like this. So hopefully it pans out the way that I hope. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that little notification bell, follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at MixingUpTiki. And until next time, next week, you know the deal, Kohala Maluna, which is where I would drink my cocktail, but alas, this is what happens in content creation. Oh well. Anyway, catch you next time.